Today's episode of FilmRiot is brought to you by Full Sail University. On today's Mail Sack, we have a professional photographer here with us to answer your questions. Welcome to FilmRiot Mondays. I'm your host, Ryan Conley, and as always, we're dipping my hand into the mail sack, but this time we have my good friend and professional photographer, Chris Martin, with us. And Chris, just to qualify that expression, oh, professional photographer, what sort of stuffs have you done?
Stuffs. Lots of stuffs, that's
Lots
for
of
sure.
stuff. You did stuff for AP Magazine.
Yeah,
right?
I've done some stuff for AP. I've worked with many different bands and artists, some such as Gym Class Heroes and A Day to Remember. Done some stuff for a few little celebrity kind of things like Ozzy Osbourne and Eric Roberts. I also do a lot of weddings and a lot of family photography and that kind of stuff as well, because I love being able to just capture moments and do my thing, you know.
Long story short, he's good at what he does. First question comes from Lewis, and he says, recommended lenses? That's actually a question that I get often, and we're actually going to be doing a whole episode on lenses and why you would choose different lenses for cinematography. But as far as photography goes, what would be your recommended lenses?
Well, in my kit, I've got a large arsenal of lenses that I use for different things. Basically, the main thing is every lens has a certain specific job.
Right.
So I'd say my all-around favorite is probably my 50mm. I have a 1.4, but Canon and Nikon both sell a 1.8 that is actually considered the nifty 50. Because it's very affordable, it's a great focal range, and you can get decently, wide shots with it, but it's also great for portraits as well.
Yeah, the depth of field on those are just
gorgeous.
Oh my gosh, especially with the 5D, how shallow it gets.
Okay.
It's literally like, so if you really wanted that effect, you could get,
oh yeah. It's beauteous.
I just want to put it on a plate
and eat it
and enjoy maybe some chocolate syrup. Next question says, cheapest types of light? I think the cheapest type of light would obviously be the sun.
It's free.
Or any available light. But as far as photography goes in your kit, what are some of the lowest cost, best lights to have?
The lowest cost lights would probably be speed lights, which are these little guys. I always have one in my pocket.
Always?
Just to make sure that
Is that a speed light in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
Happy to see
Flash.
But yeah, these guys are pretty inexpensive, brand new. I mean, you can find ones that are super expensive. You can find the brand new ones like Nikon higher end and Canon higher end ones that are a few $100. But if you go to eBay or Craigslist or Amazon or anything online or your local photography store, you can usually find a used Nikon or Canon speedlight or an off-brand one that works for any camera as well, a Vivitar or something like that, for probably somewhere around like $50 to $70. So
not too shabby, kids. Ask your parents for one this Christmas. How do you choose in what style you want to shoot something, and how do you decide on the best framing / angle, etc.? Well, I personally think the content dictates the style.
Indeed. I typically just feel something.
Right.
I don't know why, but I feel something, I get it, I see it, and I visualize it, and then once it happens, I go with my gut.
Yeah, that's why stuff like this is usually really hard. It's kind of like writing too. It's really hard to talk about something like this because a lot of the times it's an instinct.
Yeah, it's that or personal choice, So, I mean, there are different things that you can do to frame certain scenes to give them different effects, like in, certain horror flicks and stuff like that.
Right.
A little bit of a tilt can give that eerie kind of effect. But as far as anything else with this, I literally just go with my gut and go with what I think looks right for me. Because I shoot for myself, and it's not like, if a client's asking me for something specific, I'll try to do that, but I also throw in my own touch with everything.
Right,
so.
and a great thing is that, the knowledge, having the knowledge before you're able to just go with your gut is going to dictate a lot of it, because there is a lot of things, like you said, on the angles, a little bit of a higher angle or a lower angle says something about the content that you're shooting. How the light is and where it's placed says something. The lack of shadows or the addition of shadows is going to say something about that. And when you have that knowledge, you can kind of just throw it all away and it becomes instinctual, and you can really just dial into that exact style that you're trying to hit, which is really the better thing to say is the emotion that you want the viewer to draw out of your art.
Exactly.
What is a good way to promote your photography business locally?
That's a great question.
That is a great question.
The great thing about the world today is that we have technology.
Internets.
And that is the best and most inexpensive source of promoting your business, because Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff helps. I can tell you right now that almost 85% of my business that is from like families and weddings and that kind of thing, local business, it's all generated from Facebook. It's crazy. So,
That's awesome.
So I thank Mark Zuckerberg, good man. You did a good job.
Good old Zucky.
Good old Zucky. But yeah, I mean, go out there. If you want to go, a great approach also is making flyers, making business cards for yourself, so that when you go out, you can just hand people a business card and talk about what you do, talk about why you do it. People are going to hire you if they see that you have great work and if they see that you're very, very, very passionate about it. Because if you're like, hey, I'm a photographer.
Here's my card.
You want to shoot with me? Here's the card.
Here's the card.
They're going to be like, oh, cool, I know like 700 of you. But if you're passionate about it and you really love what you're doing, it'll show through.
How do you go about pricing shoots/prints without either being too arrogant or selling yourself short? How do you find that happy medium?
It's up to you. It's a personal preference with every photographer, and it's about what you are comfortable with doing. Mind you, if you're fantastic and doing amazing work, and when I say that, I don't mean you think your work is amazing. I mean people are coming up to you saying, wow, this is great. I want to work with you, this and that, what do you charge? And everyone's trying to get in touch with you. You're gonna know. You're gonna know what's up.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to start out at a price that you're comfortable with, but then as you invest more time into working, you'll realize that you're not just getting paid to pick up a camera and click the button. Like, you're getting paid for your knowledge of what you're doing. You're getting paid for the time that you're doing setting up lighting and all that.
Right.
You're getting paid for the time that you're editing, traveling to and from shoots, paying for your equipment insurance, paying for liability insurance for weddings and that sort of thing. So it's a lot of money goes out. You might be bringing money in, but a lot of money goes out, and being, working for yourself.
Yeah.
Taxes are like 30% basically. Like
They're
you have to put it away for that. So, so it gets to the point when it's not about being arrogant. If you're good enough and people want to work with you, they will pay the price that you're charging.
Yeah, that's a great point to bring up, which I've never brought up. When you are working for yourself or just starting out doing freelance, you need to keep in mind what your output is as far as money-wise to do a job. So you get back at the end of it a $5,000 check, and you're like, sweet God, I made so much money. But then once you crunch those numbers, you really made like $1,500
or less.
$1,000
Or
less.
It depends.
And that's if you did it by yourself and you didn't have any assistance, somebody else you have to pay, you might end up in the red. So definitely make sure that you're getting paid back a profit afterwards, after you've had to put out, everything that goes into it. It's great advice from Chris here.
Thank you.
Knew this one was coming. Canon, Nikon, or both?
Anything Kodak.
Too soon.
Too soon?
Too soon.
So,
Well, you use a Nikon.
I do shoot Nikon, and that's because I started off and did a lot of research when I first bought my first camera. I did a lot of research on price points and lenses and that sort of thing. I learned very early, even before I bought a camera, that the lenses are more important than the body no matter what.
Right.
But I went to the camera store and I looked at Canons and I looked at Nikons, and I tested all the controls out, and I personally liked the maneuverability of a Nikon better than a Canon. I'm not in any way, shape, or form saying that Nikon is better than Canon, because they are both tools that a photographer or videographer can use. If you're doing video though, shoot Canon.
Would a photography background be helpful to become a better cinematographer, or are the fields so different that there isn't really a crossover? There's without a doubt a crossover. I do photography as a hobby. I mean, one, because I really enjoy it, but two, because it sharpens my skills as a cinematographer. Photography has a great way of training you to get the shot just right, since it's just one frame, so you can concentrate on the lighting, what the actor is doing, what the background is doing, and then later what you're gonna do color correction wise. So much better. You can learn so much more and so much more quickly that way, since it is just one frame that you're diving into. You can try different styles and everything like that. So photography, I think, is, if you want to be a cinematographer, I think it's essential to get into that and really, really dive in. How important are strobes for photography? Is it just as effective to use continuous lighting? That's a good question that I'm even curious about.
Well, the great thing about continuous lighting is that you can actually see
what it's going to be.
What it's, yeah,
right.
exactly.
It's not that guessing game.
Exactly. So, and it's not really a guessing game if you know what you're doing, obviously, with strobes. But yeah, the continuous lighting is great. You can just, pop that little guy on there, and you actually see what you're getting.
Through the LCD, what it's,
And you can see it through your eyes, so you know
right.
that it's working, But strobes have a bit of a higher power output, I believe.
Definitely.
I mean, you can get, high output continuous lighting.
But you're gonna melt an actor's face
Exactly,
off.
it's gonna be really hot. So that's a great thing with strobes. They pop, whether it's, a speed light or an actual flash unit, they pop, they don't get that hot unless you're continuously flashing it. So, and they're very portable too. I mean, some of the some of the power that you need for continuous lighting, you might have to bring a generator or something like that when my battery pack is literally this small.
I have Canon T2i. Do I have to turn it to AF or MF for making better focus? I'm kind of itching to say something.
It's all, I mean, it's all up to your eye. What are you itching to say?
Don't ever put it in auto. Ever.
Well,
never auto.
Well,
never auto.
For photography though, for photography you can get some great autofocus results.
My heart, Chris.
He's sad at me right now.
Come on.
He's having
Auto? Auto?
Listen, because you sit here all day and do this
1992, the machine
all day.
came away. Unbelievable.
Listen.
Unbelievable.
Listen. For a
I
wedding,
don't wanna do this
things are
anymore.
happening so fast.
I don't love it. I don't
This is
even know what to
ridiculous.
say. If you dream of becoming a filmmaker, Full Sail University has degree programs to help you achieve that goal, including the on-campus film bachelor degree program and the online digital cinematography bachelor program. Through the film's bachelor degree program, you'll learn the filmmaking process from start to finish on a campus that's equipped like a Hollywood studio backlot. In the online digital cinematography bachelor's program, you'll learn what it takes to write, shoot, and edit your own films. Online students receive a technology package that includes professional-level digital video camera. Full Sail University also offers a variety of campus and online degrees in fields related to the entertainment and media industry, including video games, art and design, recording arts, entertainment business, and many more. So visit fullsail.edu/FilmRiot to learn more.
Logo.
So that's it. Thank you again for sending in your questions. Always very, very good ones. And thank you, Chris, for being on the show. And if you want to follow Chris on the Twitterverse, you can do so at
Photos by CM.
And also, if you want to check out his work, he's got a website with all of his awesome photos on, which is
just www.photosbychrismartin.com,
which is
right down there.
Right there. So check it out. And if you're looking for any photos to be done whatsoever, you know, if you have a band, if you have a wedding coming up, you want to make your own awkward family photo album, this is your guy for sure. And you travel anywhere.
I'll travel anywhere.
He'll go anywhere. He doesn't care.
I like flying. It's
and
fun.
He cooks you breakfast in the morning.
Make a heck of a scrambled eggs.
We'll have to put like legal down here saying Chris will not actually cook you breakfast in the morning.
That's true.
Well, depending on how the night goes. Am I right?
You're right.
Am I right?
You're right.
Am I right though?
Is he right?
Am I right?
I think he's right.
We'll see you next time.